We are here tonight for our fall cooking evening with Julia, who's on your screen there, and I'm Bex. And I'm going to start us off with a cocktail. Now, for those of you who don't know, we're from Otherworldly Fundraising, and we enjoy using our nerdy talents to help others. So every fall, we have a big fundraising push for a chosen charity. And then we just try to have these little, monthly chats with everybody just to try to keep everyone, keep ourselves current, we should say. So tonight I'm making a ginger apple bourbon cocktail, and Julia's gonna do the mocktail
Yeah.
of the same, only no bourbon. So first I'm gonna rim my glass. Now I haven't done this very much, so if it looks silly, you'll have to excuse me. And I forgot to put the cinnamon in there. So I have simple syrup in one bowl. And I know there's an easier way to do it, and this was easiest for me right now to just put a bunch of simple syrup in the bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And then in this bowl I have cinnamon and sugar.
I did the same. I've got little paper plates, so I'm gonna do it too.
Nice. Perfect. All right, so we're gonna take the rim of the glass and we're just gonna dip it down into the simple syrup. Kind of swirl it around so it gets on all the edges if you can, as much as possible. My bowl was a little small. And then you take your glass and you do the same thing in the cinnamon and sugar. Kind of swirl it around if you can. If that doesn't work, you can just go around the edges. My bowl was a little small for this glass, so I'm just going to press it in on the edges.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, see? And now we have a cute little cinnamon sugar rim on our glass. And we're done with the bowls so they can move.
Helene says that she loves mocktails too.
Who said that?
Helene, one of our viewers from Sithcore Fam.
Nice. Perfect. I love a good themed cocktail. I'm trying to find a good one for like Yule and Christmas. So if anyone knows of one, let me know. So in my glass, I have put some frozen cranberries and ice cubes. And I guess I'm the one drinking it, so I can touch it with my hands. We have these sphere ice cubes, which I absolutely love because they are so pretty. All right, and then because I'm making the cocktail version, I'm using a shaker. And in the shaker, I am going to put 1.5 ounces of bourbon. So this side is 2 ounces. I'll be honest, I don't always measure. So I'm just going to estimate. That's like 1.5. And tonight I'm actually using, I love bourbon. So I'm using Noble Oak Double Oak Bourbon. I really like this one. It's pretty good straight too, like over ice. And then I'm going to put in 2 ounces of apple cider.
Now, I gotta say, I'm from Vermont. I'm in Vermont, so I made sure to get Vermont apple cider.
Nice. Nice. That is awesome. I spilled. When I ask why that's sticky later, you can remind me, okay, Steve? And then I'm putting on my lid and I'm going to give it a good shake, shake, shake. Sometimes the lid flies off when I do this, so point it away from yourself, just in case. And this mostly it's to mix, yes, but also to get it cold.
Mm-hmm.
My cider was not refrigerated yet, so I just had it sitting on the counter. All right. And we're going to pour it into our glass. Now, you don't want it to fill up the whole glass. And Julia's going to be doing this with her cider now, too.
Yes, I left a little rum.
Okay. And then, is this a twist off? Yep. Then you take some ginger beer. I like Reed's because it's got like that really strong bite. I like that really strong ginger bite. And this is non-alcoholic. So you just top it off with that so it's bubbly.
I have to also recommend the Maine Root. if
Oh.
you're in New England and can get the Maine Root ginger brew, really strong. And
Okay,
it also
for
just non-alcoholic.
I have to look for that one. I love a good ginger beer. And that's all there is to that cocktail.
Oh, that's so pretty. Oh my gosh.
I've been super nervous about tonight, so this will help calm my nerves a little bit. Oh, it's
You're
so
doing
yummy.
great. This is delicious. I'm going to make this for New Year's Eve, I think. This is awesome.
Yeah. I've made this one for a few years in the fall now. Keep the ingredients on hand.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of my favorites. Oh, that is sticky. I remember why.
Before we go further, though, I have to ask. Tell me about this really pretty apron.
Oh yeah. So my mom and my sister own a business. They're both seamstresses. So their business is called Katie's Mercantile, and they make these aprons. They have a bunch of different styles. This one's my favorite. It's the horse and buggy apron, and it has pockets.
Yes.
And it comes in 2 lengths. This one's the long one because it goes down to like mid shin, but the short one comes to like just at your knee, and it just ties in the back.
That is so cute.
Yeah. Yeah, when I'm with my sister, and we cook a lot and do a lot of baking and stuff. So if I wear one of these aprons, she has kids. And when they were really little, my pockets used to end up full of rocks and tissues.
Aww.
Because the one kid would always be bringing me rocks because it's lonely and it needs to be with you.
Of course.
Yeah, and they call me Aunt Becky, so it's lonely. It has to be with you. So the rocks would go in my one pocket, and the other kid always had a runny nose, and they'd come to me with their tissues, and they always would go in the other.
How can you say no?
So I have a bunch of different styles. I have a Christmas one that I love to wear at Christmas time when I'm like baking my Christmas cookies and stuff. It just makes me so happy.
That's so sweet.
Yeah. All right, so I'm cooking chicken stew for us tonight. And I do have to apologize because I really thought that after work tonight, I would have time to make a complete one and then do movie magic at the end of my segment and pull it out and be like, and this is what it looks like when it's done. And it didn't happen. So
we're excited either way.
All right, so I did prepare almost everything and like have it, set up in Easton. So I've got like, these are veggies that I'll go in at one time, and we'll talk about those. These are veggies that go in at another time, and then the chicken I've got chopped up. So
you're prepared.
Most of it already. Yeah. I always try to do that when I'm cooking because like we're gonna cook the meat first and then the veg at your second, and you don't want to like chop up the meat first and then have salmonella chicken everywhere while you're trying to chop up your veggies. So I always chop up all the veggies first and then the meat, and then you're just done, and you don't have to get out on another cutting board. You don't have to sanitize the counter again. You only have to do all that once.
That's smart, and I love some good food safety.
Yes, we don't want to make anyone sick. Let's not make anyone sick. So in my Dutch oven, I have 1 tablespoon of olive oil and 2 tablespoons of butter.
Ooh.
And we're gonna heat that over like a medium-high heat until it is. We want it pretty darn hot because we just want to sear the edges of our chicken, the outside of our chicken. We're not gonna try to cook it all when we first put it in. We just want the outsides to get good and brown so that it sears all the juices in. So here I have 1.5 pounds of chicken thighs, boneless, skinless chicken thighs that I chopped up into bite-sized pieces. And then I've coated them. I threw in 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, gluten-free flour, and a little salt and pepper. So this is going to help it get that nice sear when we put it in the fat.
Can I ask, do you have because I know people are particular, do you have a particular brand of gluten-free flour that you like best?
I do. My favorite is the Bob's Red Mills 1-for-1 baking flour. I use it for everything. And I'd show you a package, except I I bring it home and put it into a container. So
Totally.
I don't actually have a package to show, but
That is the one I hear the most. That's
yes.
first place, and then second place is the King Arthur. Those are the two I hear the most.
Yeah, and I've used the King Arthur, and if the Bob's Red Mills is unavailable, the King Arthur is like my go-to to grab. So yeah, I hear my oil making noises, so I think that's pretty hot. Yep. So we are gonna go ahead and add in our chicken. Yes, it's making good frying noises. That's what we want.
Yes, we can hear a little. That's great.
Now,
and very pretty Dutch oven too.
Thank you. This is actually an Amazon Basics one. It's cast iron with the enamel outside.
Mm-hmm.
And I love this one.
Yeah.
Resist the urge to stir it too often.
Ooh,
you
okay.
want it to get nice and brown, and if you stir it, you're not giving it a chance to get brown.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that likes to stir. I like to stir frequently, and I really have to like fight off the urge to just run over and start stirring it immediately.
Yeah.
And it's gonna stick to the bottom of the pan, the bottom of the pot, and that's okay. We want it to. We want there to be like crusty stuff on the bottom of the pan when we stir it.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of the plan. As my favorite celebrity chef says, brown food tastes good. Chef Anne Burrell, she's my favorite.
Aww. I love that you put the cranberries in yours. That's really fun.
It was a last minute decision. I was like, you know what? I got frozen cranberry. Just gonna throw some in there.
Yeah.
They are really pretty. Hear that making all good noises.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? While that is cooking just a little bit, I forgot to send my mom a link.
Yes.
She's gonna be so mad at me.
Oh, if you're watching, send the link to your friends. Like, subscribe, share, all the things. You can comment. We can highlight your comments. I see Dr. Who Guide says hello. Hi, Helene. Oh, Kristen, our fearless leader, has a lovely question. What are your 2024 holiday reads? My like holiday Christmas read right now, my friend sent it. Shout out to my lovely friend, sent me this book called Christmas Mouse, right? I think that's what it's called. And it is a like queer romance, Christmas romance novel that is set in New York and Vermont. And it is so cute.
That sounds really cute. I'm gonna have to put that on my list. I don't have any like holiday themed books on my list.
I've been looking for like a queer holiday romance for a while, and my friend found this and was like, "You need this," and I was like, "Yes, I do."
Yeah. The queer romances are my favorite romances. I do have to say.
Yes, and thank goodness there's more now.
Yes. Oh, I know.
Oh, see, that looks nice and brown because you were patient. I would not have been patient.
No. And no, the goal is we're not trying to cook the chicken all the way through. We're just trying to brown the outsides. And then it'll cook later in with everything else. We just want the outsides to get nice and brown.
Yes. So I know I'm leading the witness here. Can you tell us more about your Kitchen Witches Kitchen? Like, where do we find you on socials and that kind of thing?
Yeah, so for Kitchen Witches Kitchen, I am only on Facebook right now. And it's Kitchen Witches Kitchen. And I post a lot of recipes, pictures, tips and hints. I'm hoping to probably start doing some more videos like this, only probably not live, because being live gives me a really bad anxiety.
Oh, you're doing amazing.
I might just record some and then start posting those some more.
That's exciting. I love that. And I love, because I know you're good about doing vegetarian options or mocktail options or having lots of options for people.
Yes, I am. Steve and I actually, we eat mostly pescatarian. We don't eat a lot of meat. But when we were talking about the theme for tonight, we said we wanted to do a fall, cozy theme. And I mean, what speaks to me more than cozy is, stew. Stew speaks to me. And we got our first snow of the year this week. Yes. So I was like, oh, I need stew. And then it took forever for me to decide if I wanted to make beef stew or chicken stew or what kind of stew was I going to make. But this one's one of my favorites. And I don't have the recipe typed up yet. I just have it kind of like jotted down on my little card.
Yeah.
But I will be typing it up and then posting it in the comment section of this YouTube video on Other Worldly Fundraisers YouTube when we're done. So probably this weekend it'll be up there.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know. So Maine got some snow Thanksgiving, and then in a lot of places in Vermont, this past couple days has been our first good snow.
I love the snow, but I hate being cold.
Oh, that's fair. Kristen says, we're backing you, Bex.
I appreciate you all. I appreciate everyone who interacts with my cooking page. Cooking, food is my passion. I love food. And I remember when I was a teenager, I told my mom that I wanted to go to school to be a chef. And I mean, that obviously did not happen. But I have done a lot of learning about cooking and food so that I can, feed the people I love.
Yes, I love that.
Thing. I like to feed people.
Yes, I feel that way too. I like to cook large amounts. I like to feed a lot of people. I don't like to cook in small amounts.
I'm not good at cooking small amounts. It's almost impossible for me.
Oh my gosh, Helene says it's 81 at her house. Oh my God. It is 20 degrees here?
Yeah, about the same here in New York.
Yep. And it's been that all day since I got up.
Okay, I'm stirring it too much. I need to resist the urge. I'll have another sip of cocktail.
Yes. I know. I can't believe it's 81. It is not that here.
That is so warm.
I know we only got a little bit here, but if you go north to ski country, they got quite a bit. So I'm sure all the skiers are very happy now.
I'm sure. I never tried skiing. Do you ski?
No, I do not. We've got a snowflake coming from Rick. Amazing. I do not ski. And there's a story behind that. I grew up in New Hampshire, so we could have gone north to ski, but I grew up a dancer. And over winter holidays or breaks, especially winter holidays, they say, do not get injured. Do not ski. Do not roller. Do not ice skate. So I never went skiing because I didn't want to get injured. And now as an adult, I'm like, oh, skiing seems like a lot of fun. It does. It seems like a great way to ruin your knees.
It does. It looks like a lot of fun, but also terrifying. And knowing me, I am very klutzy. I would probably break a leg the first time out.
Oh,
I'm very klutzy.
I would need like the baby hills, the bunny trails.
The bunny hills, yes.
Kristen says we're all going to visit Helene. Yep, you're going to have guests.
Yes. We'll bring cocktails and
we'll
stew and cookies.
And then, Kristen says, I think we need a Kitchen Witch book. That would be awesome.
Oh, like a fiction book or a Kitchen Witch cookbook?
Or both. Like a tie-in situation. Hi, Drew. Drew's watching too. Hello.
Hi.
Love all
We're almost there. We've got, if I had done this in smaller batches, we probably would be all done by now. But I was trying to rush it and dumped it all in at once. That's okay.
No, you're doing great. That's what I would do too. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's agreement. A cookbook would be awesome.
I'll think about it. I could. I have enough recipes.
The cookbook on my wish list right now is it's the Test Kitchen, America Test Kitchen, whatever that name is, for their guide to canning and pickling. Because I am a pickle girl forever, and they have such a good book on it.
I think I have a pickle. No, I don't have that pickling one. I gave one to my niece, and because she loves, she's not as big into them anymore, but a few years ago, everything pickles.
Yeah.
All she wanted for Christmas was pickles, and so we all bought her pickles, like just giant dill pickles.
That's adorable. Mm-hmm.
So we all bought her pickles, and then I got her a book she likes to cook. So I got her like one of the big, pickle books were basically about pickling everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Helene, so my mocktail is apple cider. I got Vermont local apple cider and ginger beer. This is Maine Root Ginger Brew, and it is my favorite. If you're in the Northeast and can find it, it is so good. And so this is just the mocktail version, so no alcohol. And then we did the fancy cinnamon sugar rim there.
Yep. Mine is basically the same, but I added bourbon to mine and some frozen cranberries for just to make it look pretty.
Yes. This is, I think, a question our audience will like. Doctor Who Guide Alex here says he needs yet another Great British Baking Show cookbook. I feel like, do you watch that show, Bex?
I do. I love the Great British Baking Show.
Mm-hmm. I have not seen the last season, but my friend texted me. She just finished watching it, and she was like, I was sobbing. It was really good.
Yeah, I haven't watched the most recent season, but I none of it. I didn't even watch the first one yet, so. But I will. I will be. I like to binge watch it, so I like to sit down like in one weekend and watch the whole thing.
Totally. Yeah.
I used to be a really good baker. I love baking, especially breads. Ooh. But now that I'm gluten-free, it is much harder. It's very different. Yeah. Gluten is what holds everything together when it rises. And so without the gluten, it kind of rises and falls apart, turns into crumbs.
Interesting.
So it's not quite as good. And I'm working on it. I've gotten a couple of books about how to and ideas, and we'll see. I am working on it because I miss the homemade bread.
Yeah.
I love bread.
Mm-hmm.
So
I see we've got another Maine Root fan. Yay, Rick. Maine Root does great sodas. They have a cola, they have a root beer, they have a lot of good ones.
I'll have to try the ginger one.
It's really nice.
I can find it.
It's sweet and got a real kick, which I like.
I like the kick. Yeah, that ginger bite is my favorite part of ginger beer.
Ooh, DJ Pastor Rock, hello. Yes, we will do cookies tonight too. We need cookies. Cookies are life.
We love cookies.
W here is saying tuning in a little late. What are we cooking and baking? So if you're coming in late, don't worry. Bex is making a chicken stew, really delicious and cozy. Our theme was like fall cozy vibes. And then I'm doing pumpkin chocolate chip cookies a little later. And actually, I got to say, if you don't mind me sharing, Helene, this is Helene's mom's recipe because I said I needed a good recipe. So I'm excited.
Aww. I love that.
Right?
Okay, I think we have, it's not going to really get much more brown because we put too much in. So I'm just going to, it's browned enough on the outside. So we're going to scoop out the chicken with a slotted spoon because we want to leave some of that fat in there because next we're putting in some of the veggies.
Mm-hmm. What do you have for veggies there?
So there's onion and celery and carrots. And then we're also going to be putting in potatoes and butternut squash.
Oh my gosh. Anything with potato and I'm happy.
Oh, I know. Potatoes. Someone asked me once what my favorite food was, and I was like, any type of potato.
Absolutely.
Potatoes.
We've got a recommendation here. The Loopy Whisk website has some great gluten-free bread recibes.
Okay.
I love it. The Loopy Whisk. That's a great name.
Thank you. I will have to find that. I will find those. All right. So right now we're going to dump in. First, we're doing the onion, the celery. Oop, hold on. Sorry. Onion, celery, garlic, and the carrots.
Oh, nice.
There's no garlic in here yet because I didn't chop that. I bought garlic.
We know it's garlic too.
Yeah, some people frown upon the garlic, but
I go through so much garlic. I need garlic. Okay.
Exactly. Me too. And there is no shame in feeding your family. So if you have to use garlic to make that happen, use the garlic.
Absolutely.
It's fine.
Absolutely.
So it calls for 4 cloves of garlic, but I measured it with my heart as put in a bunch of spoonfuls.
As you should. Absolutely.
Garlic and cheese, you measure with your heart.
W says, love the cozy vibes theme. And they want cookies too. So. Helene's got a question for you. Do you think you could substitute a mock chicken or tempeh for this stew?
Yeah, I don't see why not. Or just leave the meat out entirely and add extra veggies and make it a veggie stew.
Yeah, I love a good veggie stew.
Yeah. So now as our veggies cook, they are going to release some moisture, which is going to help us see all that gunk at the bottom of the pan.
Mm-hmm.
As the moisture gets in there from the veggies, it's going to dissolve some of that. We're going to scrape it up.
Awesome.
And any that doesn't get scraped up, we will. Did you see that piece of celery fly right out of the pan?
No.
Anything that doesn't get dissolved and scraped up, we are gonna deglaze the pan. After the veggies are a little more cooked, we're gonna add in a little bit of wine and get it scraped up some more.
Yeah. So we've got, oh my gosh, our viewers totally agree. So potatoes, we've got a lot of love for potatoes in the comments. And then you got to hear these garlic comments. So Rick says minimum dosage 8 to 9 cloves.
Oh, yeah.
Tony says garlic comes in 1 serving size whole bulb.
Yes, definitely.
And we've got agreement with Tony. And then, hey, Keisha says that's extra flavor on the bottom of the pan. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We want all that.
So apparently there are no vampires in the chat tonight. We are all just garlic lovers.
You know, I read somewhere the other day that the theory that garlic repels vampires is actually vampire propaganda, because garlic is a natural blood thinner. So then everyone will eat garlic to try to keep away the vampires, but you're actually just making it easier for them.
Oh my God. That is wild. I've not heard that before.
And I'm not sure if it's true. I just heard that, so I don't know if it really is. But I thought it was funny.
That is. Kristen says potatoes can be mashed, baked, fried, roasted, turned into vodka, and run a light bulb. That's an impressive vegetable.
We always need potatoes. We need potatoes for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, mashed potatoes. It's making me hungry now.
Oh no, Helene says I have an intolerance to raw garlic. What does that make me? I don't know.
Maybe a vampire? Just raw though? You can eat it cooked?
Yeah, can you eat it cooked? Oh, we're loving the garlic conversation. Yeah.
Garlic.
My aunt has grown garlic, which is really nice. I have not attempted it in my garden yet.
My family, my sister and her husband own a farm, and they grow garlic every year.
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's so easy to grow. You definitely can do it.
Yeah, that's cool. I really wanted to do, so some of my veggies did great this summer, some did not. The kale was awesome. The rainbow carrots did great. What did not do great was my poor cucumbers. I really wanted to do pickling cucumbers. And the seedlings, I should have kept them in longer. They got too much rain too soon. And they were yellow and they wouldn't ripen. So no homemade pickles for me. But plenty of kale and carrots.
You can pickle carrots?
I have done before. My aunt has a great recipe for pickled carrots.
Yeah.
Helene says, yep, I eat garlic anyway, but get congested. Oh, no. Nice. Well, you're proving you're not a vampire.
I wonder what cooking it does that changes it.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And Keisha says she planted her garlic late this year, but hoping it grows well. Ooh, look at that.
It smells. I wish you guys could smell it through the screen. It smells so good.
Oh, it looks good.
I'm just getting my wine ready. I actually don't have an open bottle of white wine right now, which is shocking because that's mostly what I drink for wine is dry white wine.
Mm-hmm.
I drank it all yesterday.
And that will be for deglazing the pan?
Yep, we're just going to pour it a little bit once the veggies are a little more cooked. We want them to get some of the brown up themselves because that'll improve the flavor of the veggies. But then we are going to use a little bit of wine to just deglaze this once we. And it's so much fun to watch it work. I can't wait to put the wine in there, and it brings up all the brown bits.
Totally.
And then we're actually going to add a little more flour, which is going to make us sad because then it's going to get more stuck on the pan, but that's okay.
Keisha says, "Oh darn, you'll have to open a new bottle."
Oh, so sad.
And then Tony says, "Not me making canned chicken soup while watching this. I'm glad you're eating dinner. This is my brother. I'm glad you're eating dinner."
I love it. I'm stirring too much again, but that's okay. I like to stir.
My friend here says, "Can you smell the cookies? I can't from here." I know we need smell-o-vision or whatever so that we can smell those veggies.
I know. It's not the garlic is what's really coming through right now. It smells so good.
What kind of dip, Kristen, did you make? That sounds good.
I like dip.
Yeah. I do wish I could smell it. I'm sure that your kitchen smells amazing.
My kitchen, I'm going to be not very humble right now and say my kitchen pretty much always smells amazing.
That is awesome. I believe it. I believe it.
Cooking is my superpower. It's what I like to do.
That. That's
my
so
cameraman
cute.
is nodding his head.
We have agreement. We have confirmation. Keisha also had canned pasta for dinner, but I'm sure the soup is going to be wonderful. Yeah. Kristen says onion dip, classic.
Oh yes, onion dip.
I had fast food for dinner so that I could get on here and cook.
I didn't have any dinner. This is gonna be my dinner, I guess. I know. Yeah. And I didn't eat lunch either. I'm a bad person. I had lots of coffee. In case you can't tell, because I'm talking so fast, I had lots of coffee.
Oh my gosh, no. I think I'm here for the caffeine train. Keisha wants to be your new BFF because she also spends her time cooking, most of her time.
Oh, that would be amazing. I like to cook together. I like it when people will come over and cook with me.
Mm-hmm. We have a shout out to Steve here. Shout out to Bex's camera person. Also, it has been pretty steady for handheld. Yeah, good job.
Yeah, he's doing pretty good. We were a little nervous about it, but yeah. And it's just on his phone.
It looks really good.
All right, these are nice and soft now. The carrots, of course, are still a little bit crunchy, but they are, the celery and the onions are nice and soft. So we are going to add a little wine. Again, I'm not going to measure it. You'll find I don't measure stuff, but it is about a half a cup.
Awesome.
I'm terrible. You'll see when we get to the spices. I don't measure those.
Measure with your heart. Yeah.
I do, especially spices. Oh, I love spice. Like we're gonna do some rosemary and thyme and all the good stuff.
That's gonna be so good. I can see that working. Wow.
Yes. See, as it boils, I mean, there's still gonna be some stuck on there because we did a really good job of not stirring that chicken. But look at that.
Oh yeah, it's coming up. Awesome.
Don't use a metal spoon on your pans because if you do, you will cry later.
Right.
But this wooden spoon does a great job.
I love
wooden utensils.
Mm-hmm. And don't put your wooden utensils in the dishwasher. It's not good for them. Just hand wash them.
Yes. And don't leave them soaking in the water. Like don't fill your sink and throw in your wooden utensils.
Mm-hmm.
My dishwasher is holding the camera right now. He doesn't cook. So, when we were talking about moving in together and getting married, one of the discussions was, if I do most of the cooking and the grocery shopping, will you wash the dishes?
Yep, absolutely. Gotta be fair.
Well, until we have a dishwasher. Someday, we would like to buy a house and get a dishwasher. So, but we rent.
Totally. Tony is here saying that he's on the coffee diet too. Coffee's not a meal, my friends. Have some carbs. There's a great On Instagram, you can find Laura Gerard, and that's always her thing. She's a fitness coach, and she's like, coffee is not a meal. Have some carbohydrate.
She's right. She is very right. And I'm actually pretty health conscious, so I do take really good care of myself, and I try to eat right and eat lots of veggies and fruits, but today got away from me.
Oh, that's fair. It happens. And Keisha agrees with us. Make sure you oil up your wooden utensils regularly. Yeah. You can look online to find the right kind, and that helps keep them good.
Yes.
And Kristen says, maybe Bex could wear her apron backwards like a cape because cooking is your superpower.
I bet I could. I bet I could. So we are now going to add a little bit more flour. We're going to add, so there was 2 tablespoons sprinkled onto the chicken before this I do measure. So there's 2 tablespoons sprinkled on the chicken before we cooked it. Mm-hmm. Now we're going to do 2 more tablespoons right into the veggies because we want stew, not soup. So we want it to get a really nice thick gravy in there.
Mm-hmm. Kristen says also metal spoons can burn your fingers since they conduct heat. Mm-hmm.
Very true. And you'll notice I'm using like a hot pad when I'm touching this pot as well.
Yeah.
Because this is the cast iron Dutch oven, the handles get very hot.
Yeah, definitely. The cast iron heats up. Tony says he hand washes everything, doesn't trust these newfangled dishwashers. He always teases us. His apartment does not have a dishwasher either. He is the resident dishwasher.
Newfangled. I love it. Love it. So we are going to let that brown up a little bit. When flour cooks, it gets kind of like a little bit of a nutty smell. So we wanted to get that probably about 2 minutes.
Yes. That's what I learned too from my aunt when you're making a roux. Most people don't know you need to let the flour cook out a little bit so that it gets that nutty flavor and you don't have like a floury taste when you make a white sauce.
Yes, I do that. I do lots of white sauces or, different roux. My favorite is with cheese.
Yes.
I do love me some cheese.
I do miss that. I'm vegan.
Yeah.
I never liked meat much as a kid. I don't miss meat. But I'm also very lactose intolerant. So while I miss dairy, we're not friends. I cannot eat dairy.
I understand that. Definitely. I am also slightly lactose intolerant and I still eat cheese. Yeah. Sometimes I really regret it later.
Yeah.
But or Steve does when I pull the covers over his head.
Oh. Oh, this is hilarious. Does Tony churn butter as well? I wouldn't put it past him. I've not seen him do this, but I wouldn't put it past him.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, and Helene agrees cheese is life. I think our audience will be united in that.
Yeah, we were united over garlic. Now we're going to be united over cheese.
Mm-hmm. And potatoes. Some of the best
potatoes. Yes.
This was going viral maybe last year, the smashed potato salad. That was really good. I do recommend.
Oh, yeah, I saw that recipe and then never actually tried it.
It was tasty.
Yes, good.
Yeah, Kristen says I made a white sauce with Daiya cheese once. Yeah, I like to do just a plain white sauce with nutritional yeast to get that kind of cheesy flavor. This is my quirk. I do not like the texture of melted cheese, which I know makes me very strange. But
and we're all different. We are adding the chicken back in now. It's got that nice nutty flavor. So now we're adding the chicken. Nutty smell. I didn't taste it, I swear.
More cheese comments. So many cheese comments. Praise cheeses. Cheese grommet.
Yes.
All hail cheese olio. I don't know what's happening in the comments, but they're really like. And I agree with Helene. I think the Chow vegan cheese is my favorite of like the sliced fake cheeses.
Oh, I just threw some squash on the floor. I'll have to look for that.
It's
right,
good.
So in this bowl, I have chunked up butternut squash, which I bought already chopped up.
Mm-hmm.
There's no shame. Butternut squash
Oh my
is really
gosh.
hard to chop. And
It
then I bought
is.
baby potatoes and I just chopped them in half.
Mm-hmm.
So make it easy on yourselves.
Yes,
Not everything has
absolutely.
to be, you don't have to grow all the ingredients yourself. You don't have to chop up all the stuff. You don't have to churn the butter, Tony.
That
I'm
looks
gonna
so
get that
good.
stirred in a little. The bottom of the pan is really burned, so be prepared for that. Sorry, Steve. Now we're gonna do the fun part.
Ooh.
We get to add the spices now. I love spices. All right. So we have 1 teaspoon of dried parsley. Okay. So that's about a teaspoon, right?
Yeah. It's what our heart says a teaspoon is.
Right. It says half a teaspoon of dried thyme, but I really like thyme, so we're gonna add a little more than that.
Yeah.
It was about a teaspoon. Half a teaspoon of rosemary. Rosemary can be very overpowering, so definitely don't put in too much.
Mm-hmm. That's
And
good to know.
half a teaspoon of sage.
Oh, yummy.
I mean, it's chicken. You have to have sage when you have chicken. It's the rules. I don't make the rules. I mean, I did write the recipe, but I don't make the rules. We're gonna add in about a quarter teaspoon of black pepper, and I like to get the coarse ground black pepper. I do have a pepper grinder, but I think the peppercorns I got were old for that because it does not have much of a pepper flavor. And I like pepper, so I shook in a little more than probably a quarter teaspoon.
You've started the time puns. We have party time. If I could save time in a bottle.
Yes, I love a good time pun. Isn't there someone in the chat about named Doctor Who fan? Where are they? Come on.
I know the Doctor Who guy. Where are your
timing for your Doctor Who puns?
Yeah.
Timing.
That's
you see what I
Alex.
did there?
Let's see if we can summon him with the pun requests.
Now we're gonna also add in some broth. We're gonna add in 2 cups of a vegetable broth and 2 cups of a chicken broth. So I got these containers. They're a quart, so there's 4 cups in a quart. So I'm gonna do about half.
Mm-hmm. Someone says we're having a good time here tonight. Let the good times roll. We did some, and so Doctor Who guide. Where are the time puns with Doctor Who?
Yeah. And that's about half of that one. And I did add a little bit more than I was supposed to of the potatoes, so I'm just gonna add a little extra. You basically want your veggies to be covered so that they will cook in the stock.
Tony says black pepper is the most underrated spice. Salt gets all the glory.
I do love salt, but pepper just really brings out the flavor.
Mm-hmm.
White pepper is amazing as well when you know how to use it. So yeah, white pepper is really good in stuff like curries and when you're cooking meat for ramen, I like to put some white pepper in there.
So we have our Doctor Who puns now.
Yes.
Alex says, I'm all out. I'm the last of the Time Lords. We have timey-wimey and time is wibbly wobbly.
Nice. Very nice.
We have a lot of opinions in the chat.
I love it. So this is what we've got for this too. Now we cover it and let it boil. And then you cover it, you bring it to a boil, which is going to take longer than I think we want to stand around. Once it's boiling, you take the lid back off and turn it down to medium low. Stir it occasionally until all the veggies are cooked and the gravy is thick. As thick as you want it. Amazing. And then taste it and add any more seasonings that it needs. It might need a little more salt, especially because we only put a little bit on the meat, so it might need a little more salt, maybe a little more pepper. But taste it. Don't be afraid to taste it once it's cooked. Don't taste it now. That chicken is raw.
Yes, good reminder.
If you want, after Julia's baking segment, we can come back and look at it.
Yeah, definitely. Let's check in then. We've got more black pepper lovers in the chat too. You've won them over.
Ah, yes, good.
Amazing.
I love it. Well, shall we, if you can all bear with us for a quick minute, we will do a little scramble and switch around so that Julia can do her baking segment and I'll go in and read the comments to my computer and read the comments for her.
Amazing. Thank you.
Just a couple minutes.
Amazing job, Bex, and our fearless cameraman. Awesome
He
job.
did a great job. Thank you, Steve.
Yes. And Steve gets dinner too. So
Yeah, he's gonna get some of this when it's done.
good deal.
Yeah.
So we'll switch to cookie time. So while you're this is actually perfect because I think in the amount of time it would take you to let that boil and get the soup going, you could easily do these cookies. Like I said earlier, shout out to Helene's mom. This is her recipe, and I'm gonna pull it up to make sure that I'm not doing it wrong. I will confess I'm not usually a baking girly because you have to follow recipes closely, but I love cookies. So for the sake of cookies, I am following the recipe, which is shocking. Oh, we've got more puns. I love it. Spicy Christmas Carol Timey Tim. I love it. We're switching from savory to sweet here, and I've got it mostly set up. We're trying to be fancy, so we'll go ahead and get started. These are fluffy cookies. I know some people really like crispy cookies. I'm a fluffy cookie person. So we also wanted to stick with our cozy fall theme. So I really wanted to do pumpkin chocolate chip. And me and Helene are agreed it should be chocolate chips and cookies, not nuts. So maybe controversial. Put in the comments what you prefer. And Bex will be here helping me with all those comments. We're going to look at the recipe and get started with our pumpkin. Hello again.
Hello.
Magic. So I've got pumpkin here, and you want to make sure that you're using the like straight up pumpkin. You do not want pumpkin pie filling. That will be too sweet and it will ruin the chemistry. So make sure it's your plain pumpkin. You're going to mix your pumpkin, your brown sugar, your oil. I've just got vegetable oil and your vanilla together. I think vanilla is another one of those things you should just measure with your heart. It says a teaspoon. We're going to do more than a teaspoon.
Janelle says yes to chips and cookies.
Yes. Okay, Janelle's on my side. Amazing.
The Doctor Who guide says, I can't believe you're following a recipe.
It is shocking for me to follow a recipe. It is. So I'm just going to whisk this all together so the pumpkin, the brown sugar, and the liquid is combined. And I will say this is vegan, which is awesome. And the pumpkin really acts as your binder and as the egg replacement. If I were not doing a pumpkin-based cookie, I would probably throw in applesauce instead of the egg.
That's a good idea. Helene says you can also use fresh cooked pumpkin.
Ooh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, Tony says raisins are better than chocolate chips.
Tony's trying to start a fight.
Tony, I don't think you're gonna win anybody over with that comment. No.
Oh my god! Imagine if this were Reddit. That would be downvoted.
Thumbs down.
I will make you raisin oatmeal cookies. I know you like those. I will make you those. So when that is all combined, you have a nice pumpkin-y mix. I wish you could smell it. It does smell kind of like pumpkin pie.
Oh, I wish I could.
Now I'm actually using cake flour. I was lucky, and the last time my dad went to the bulk barn where they have, lots of lovely bulk ingredients, he was able to get cake flour because I really want it to be fluffy.
Yes.
You can just use all-purpose flour, and you do want to make sure you sift it. So I did that ahead of time so there's not lumps, and you don't have to watch me sift for 5 minutes.
That's why I chopped everything ahead of time. I was like, you don't need to watch me chop up an onion and cry
Right?
all over the place. And
I'm such a slow chopper too. It would take so long.
yeah, my knife skills are definitely lacking. I didn't want to bleed and have everybody see that. So
Oh, no. Oh, we have disagreements.
oh, Dr. Who Guy says I disagree most vehemently about the raisins. I think about the raisins are better than chocolate chips. And then Helene says, Tony, my mom used to add both raisins and chocolate chips.
Ooh, I would
That
accept
might not be that bad. That might be good.
Yeah. So for spices, and actually I'm going to go back to Helene's mom here. I have, so for leavening, I have baking powder and soda, cinnamon, salt, nutmeg, and ginger. So very pumpkin-y spices. Now, Helene's mom did not like ginger. I really like ginger, so I put it in here. But what we were texting about earlier is chopped up candied ginger in with the chocolate chips would be so good. So next time, I'm going to do that next time I can get a hold of candied ginger.
I want to know how that comes out when you do it, please.
Yeah, I love anything. I mean, you had me when you said the ginger beer. I'm like, I'm sold.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to mix this all together. And it is one
says raisins are just grapes nobody asked out.
Ouch.
TJF, who is my dad, said both raisins and chocolate chips would be great. He would like that.
Oh, that's awesome. I will say this is one of these, the cookie batters, I should say, that it looks like it won't come together and then it does. The pumpkin has a lot of moisture, so don't be tempted to add anything because it will mess it up.
I always get scared by cookie dough because it always looks a little bit dry.
Yeah.
Like it's supposed to though, but I always get scared and then end up adding stuff. And then you're like, now it's too wet and I have to add more flour. And now it's too dry. And
that's the chemistry part that I find challenging is to stick with the right amounts of everything.
Yeah.
I will say too, it is worth, and I've not done this yet, and I know I should, getting an oven thermometer to test your oven to make sure it is what it says it is.
That's smart. That's a good idea.
Okay, so when you're...
Oh,
go ahead.
No, you go.
So when your batter is almost mixed, it should look like this. So nice and orange cookie dough. And while you're catching up on comments, I'm just going to add in my chocolate chips that I measured out.
I don't have a ton to catch up on. Just the Doctor Who guide says, I have a chocolate chip on my shoulder about this. We're really getting into this raisin versus chocolate chip debate here.
Yes. I will say for chocolate chips, I really like the brand Equal Exchange. They are fair trade. You have to order them online, but if you order them during the winter, you don't need to pay for cold shipping.
True.
You save money. And because these are semi-sweet, they're actually accidentally vegan. And so it comes out to about $5 a bag, or like a pack. Okay. And that's for vegan chocolate chips. That's really good. Because if I go to my Hannaford, it's like $8 a pack, and I refuse to pay that much. So it is a good deal, and it is like, ethical and stuff. So if you can swing it, I really recommend Equal Exchange. And actually, if Deb's watching, Deb, Rick's wife, got me on Equal Exchange. So credit to her.
Nice. Kristen Marie says, I'm Chip. I'm Dale.
I love our paying audience.
Doctor Who guide says, I've been burned too many times by a raisin I thought was a chocolate chip. # trust issues. I hear that. I do. I've bitten into many an oatmeal cookie that I thought was going to be chocolate chips, and it was not. Helene says she likes the Kirkland, the Costco brand, semi-sweet chocolate chips.
Yes. I was at Costco this morning. I know what you're talking about.
I do love Costco. I have a love-hate relationship with them. They're always so crowded, and I don't really like crowds of people. Make me nervous. So, but they have so much stuff.
I know, and we got there 10 minutes before they opened, and the parking lot was already full. I was like, come on, guys.
That's horrible.
So I am just spooning the cookies out onto my cookie sheet. It does say, and I know it depends cookie to cookie, the recipe does say use either a greased baking sheet or parchment paper. And I have don't mix up baking. I've done this before. Don't mix up baking paper, like wax paper and parchment paper. This parchment paper will not burn. I have accidentally used wax paper, which melts. So
Yes,
learn
it
from my
does.
mistakes.
Oh, how many cookies did you lose to the wax paper misstep?
I lost a tray. Thankfully, I was
Oh.
doing like one at a time, so I didn't lose like the whole batch, but
So sad.
learning experience. And I will say, because I tested these out, they don't spread a ton because of the baking powder. So
Oh, yeah.
I do try and shape them a little bit on the pan so they look pretty-ish.
Okay.
They will get eaten regardless. I like to do big cookies. You can do smaller ones. I don't have that kind of self-control, but
Oh, Steve just reminded me to remove the lid on your cast iron pan. Okay, yes, probably boiling.
yay. Well, I'm just about to finish up these. They come together quick, and I'll show you what they look like. They smell so good. I wish you could smell, like if you like pumpkin pie, it smells like pumpkin pie right now. Let's see. Let's see. Oh yeah, the baking sheets. That's a great point. The silicone baking sheets you can reuse, so you don't have to throw them away. And Kristen gets the carob chocolate chips. I haven't seen that before. Oh yes, Drew says I feel like using wax paper is something everyone does at least once. Yeah. They make them so similar, you know, like it looks very similar. Awesome. So here is what they look like. Let me move my mixing bowl out of the way. We have lovely chunky pumpkin cookies. They will spread a tiny bit. So this is a slightly larger than normal pan cookie sheet. So these are going to go in the oven at 350 for 12 to 15 minutes. My oven upstairs, I think, doesn't run super hot. So I found I did need 14 minutes and the bottom were brown and the top was nice and cooked. But I would definitely check 12 minutes, especially if you have an oven that runs hot, because of the brown sugar and the pumpkin mixing, it will burn quick if you're not careful. But thanks to Movie Magic and testing them out, I can show you what the final product looks like.
Oh, those look so good.
Ones. And my family has patiently been waiting. I told them they could not eat them until I showed everyone. So
that was so nice of them.
Yes, they look good. And they are really, we're going to do a cross section. They are nice and fluffy.
Yes, they are.
So I definitely recommend.
Amazing.
How is the soup? Stew?
It is boiling, so I took the lid off. So now it just turned it down to like a medium low, and it will cook for about 30 minutes and then be hopefully nice and thick, and the veggies will all be cooked. Go ahead and just stab them with a fork at like 30 minutes and see if they're cooked yet. Just don't forget to stir it once in a while so it doesn't stick more on your pan.
Yes, that is good to know.
Yeah. Helene says you can also use a silicone baking sheet.
Yeah.
I have one of those. I love that. Drew says, I feel like using the wax paper is something that everyone does at least once. Yes, I agree. Like a rite of passage.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, Helene reminds us to adjust for altitude.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're at sea level. So, and Kristen said the same thing, adjust for altitude. Oh, everyone is saying how good they look. They look delicious.
Do. I wish I could share them. For the folks in my house, you get to eat them. I wish I could share them.
Oh, I wish you could send me some. Bring me some cookies.
Yes. They are very fluffy. Thanks to Helene's mom. They're yummy.
Perfect. This was awesome.
Yeah. Thank you so much, friends. It was so nice to see everyone.
Oh,
We should do more cooking ones. I don't know how much we're allowed to spill the beans, but we hope to do more cooking ones, maybe some D&D related ones.
Yes.
So please subscribe if you're not subscribed.
My theme, when I was thinking about the theme for tonight, I kept thinking like, it's kind of like if you were out adventuring with your D&D party, and then when you get back to the inn, like after the adventuring, you know, what kind of food would you want to eat at an inn? Yeah, definitely chicken stew and chocolate chip pumpkin cookies. Yes.
Very like Legends and Lattes vibe, if you've read that book.
Oh, I love that book. Did you read the sequel? Or it's not really a sequel, but yeah, that one was good too.
Yeah, no, I want to. I keep seeing it at the bookstore.
Definitely grab it. Just get it. You're going to want it. You're going to love it. It was
Mhm.
amazing.
Aw.
WG says, subscribed. Thanks for the reminder. Yes, thank you for subscribing.
We
If
appreciate
you don't want to
it.
miss any more of our joint cooking videos, please make sure you subscribe to Otherworldly Fundraising. We are also on the socials, so you can go find Otherworldly Fundraising on basically all the socials. We're everywhere. And then you won't miss any upcoming content. We've got a lot of stuff coming up. We try to do at least one show a month, and we all have so much fun doing them. So we hope that you'll join us. And
Amazing.
and we'll be announcing our 2025 partner charity after the new year.
Amazing. So exciting.
I know. I'm excited for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Amazing. We've got Trekkies in the chat too.
Yay!
Yay. Awesome. Thanks so much, friends. Thank you for subscribing. Thanks, Bex. Great job.
Yes, you too. Thank you so much. I think this was your idea. So I loved it. This was awesome.
I loved it. We combined ideas. Yeah, I love it.
It was great. Yeah. Tristan says you can still donate to Mom Bomb. Mom Bomb was our partner charity for 2024. And I was so happy when I found out we were doing Mom Bomb. I was so happy because they help out moms and dads who are in need. And they do things like meal deliveries and groceries and laundry services.
Yeah, and if you need Christmas presents, because I know Thanksgiving was late, we're all stressed about Christmas presents. It is all of their profits go to supporting moms and dads and parents in need. So check them out. They do really nice quality stuff. I got some stuff for some of the moms in my life. So
me too.
Definitely for Christmas presents, go order.
I got some for myself too.
Yes.
I got the CBD bath bombs. It was so nice.
Yeah, they got so many nice products. Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely. And if you want to, I'm hoping to do some more cooking videos myself on my channel too. So, if you liked this, make sure you check us out there. And then you'll know if we're doing more for Otherworldly Fundraising too, because I talk about all that stuff too.
Yes, definitely.
Kitchen Witch's Kitchen.
Amazing. Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining us. We had such a great time. I will be posting my recipe. I'll type it up this weekend and get it posted in the comments on this video on the YouTube page so that everyone can have it. Awesome. That way, if you didn't have time to scribble it down while you were watching and I rambled a lot, at least you'll have the recipe.
No, that's perfect. Thanks, friends.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Have a good night.